I'd like to call the Town of Bennington Development Review Board to order, Tuesday, August 4th, 2020. Dan?
Okay. First of all, thanks everybody for wearing masks and dealing with all this COVID stuff, so appreciate that. So we do things a little differently from what we normally do, but we'll try to keep things moving along. First item on our agenda is the minutes from last time.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded by the board, Dan, and all in favor?
We also ask everybody who presents to the board this evening, normally have them sign up on a sign-up sheet that includes a witness oath. We're not going to make people sign stuff tonight. I'm just going to read it. And anybody who does speak to the board this evening, just assume that you're speaking under oath. And the oath statement says, I solemnly swear or affirm under the pains and penalty of perjury that the statements I make, testimony I give, and other evidence I submit to the board at the board's public hearing held on this date shall be true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. Okay. Next item on our agenda is disclosure of any ex parte communications or conflicts of interest regarding the matter before the board this evening. Are there any? See none? Okay. We do have one hearing this evening. It's Southwestern Vermont Healthcare Corporation. They're seeking approval of a 2-lot subdivision and boundary line adjustment of the medical center's property. Purpose of this subdivision is to create a separate lot for the Centers for Living and Rehabilitation. And Eamon, I assume you're going to be presenting, so Jason, if you'd introduce yourselves and we'll go from there.
Jason Morrissey, representing Southwestern Vermont Healthcare Corporation. I'm just going to say a few brief words, then Eamon will take over and we're happy to answer any questions. We're here tonight regarding the subdivision of a parcel that those of us who live here know as the Centers for Living and Rehabilitation. That is on a 18-acre parcel. That business is being sold by the hospital. And as part of the sale, we need to sell the land along with it. The entire parcel is not getting sold, thus the reason for the subdivision. Nothing is changing in terms of the layout. It's going to have the same number of beds, same number of employees, same flow when it comes to water and sewer usage or power usage. There won't be any increased traffic. Access to the building will be just as it is now. There'll be easements traded as part of this transaction for ingress and egress to what we know as the Centers for Living and Rehabilitation. It is totally encompassed within the hospital campus. As you guys probably already know over the years, that campus was woven together by several different parcels. This is just an 18-acre parcel that comes off of Monument Avenue Extension into the campus, and approximately 5 acres of it is being broken off in this subdivision to accommodate the sale of that business by the hospital to a buyer. Obviously, we need subdivision permits both locally and at the state level, and we're here tonight to ask for your local permit to subdivide approximately 5 acres off of that parcel. And with that, I'll turn it over to Eamon, and he can give you more of the particulars.
Okay, well, thank you, Jason. As Jason said, I'm Eamon Mulligan. I work for Emerson Engineering and Design. We've been working with Southwestern Vermont Healthcare Corporation to develop a subdivision plan for them. I'm going to start by showing you this side. This is a plan I generated to give the location of the property, the 18-acre property that Jason was just referring to. It's located along Monument Ave to the western portion of the main lot. So, again, as Jason said, the goal is to break off the portion of the property that's currently used by the Center for Rehabilitation. And while the hospital would retain a portion of the property, the parking lot located to the east of that, as well as the wooded area directly to the west that currently holds the trail network that's been developed by the hospital over the past 5-10 years. The goal is in order to allow the usage by both the hospital and the purchaser of the CLR building to develop easements that would work for both of their favor. In addition to that, we've been working at MSK with state officials to make sure that any state permitting is also being taken care of where there isn't anything that we run into down the road.
Questions from the board? I don't, unless I missed it, I didn't hear the coverage that the buildings will have on the new parcel. 75% coverage is allowed, but do you have any idea what coverage you're going to be using?
On this parcel here?
On the new one, yes.
No, I do not have that number, but I'm more than...
Well, it's less than 75%, so it's well within the standards.
Okay.
No questions from the board?
Well, do you happen to know the approximate square footage of the building?
No, that is something I can get for you.
If they wish to expand, there's a lot of issues there.
At this point, there is no goal to expand, to do any construction.
No further questions? What's the board's pleasure?
What about Mary's? Do you have any questions, Mary?
Just if the property down the road was sold, say it wasn't going to be like a nursing home setting anymore, is there any language? Is there any language in their agreement what would go forward in that building?
That's a good question. Let me address that. When we started, we talked about this being part of a larger 18-acre parcel, and I'm going to refer to that as the Chandler parcel because it was Chandler who conveyed this parcel in 1919 to then the village of Bennington. It's actually the village that's the legal owner, well now the town, it's the legal owner of the property. The hospital corporation is the beneficial owner. This was one of the many parcels that was conveyed to the then fledgling hospital, conveyed to the then village of Bennington for the benefit of the then brand new hospital. And in the language with those deeds, it's got to be used for healthcare purposes. That's a covenant that runs with the land. So it would be a violation of the language in that 1919 conveyance from Chandler to the village of Bennington for this parcel to have any other use but for something related to healthcare.
So it would go forward would be for healthcare only.
Yes.
And also one other question, with the new owners, will that be a tax-producing property or is it a non-taxable? Are they for-profit or non-for-profit? Not that that really has anything
Well,
to do
it really has nothing to do with the subdivision or the permitting.
Tax
I
and
really want to
questions.
speak out of school on
Okay.
a client who I don't represent because I don't represent the buyer, but ultimately that would come down to a decision how the town would like to
Right, and
act.
I know it's not really under their purview, so thank you.
Any further questions? What's the board's pleasure? Deliberations open or closed? Need a motion?
Move to deliberative session.
I'll second it.
Yep.
Motion is made to made to go to deliberative session and seconded by Charles. All in favor?
Okay. So we'll obviously have an answer for you tomorrow. If you'd like to get in touch with us at the office. So thank you very much for your presentation this evening. Unless there's any other business, we can move
Any
to-
other business from the board? Motions in order for closing? Charles?
Motion to go, close it and go into deliberative session.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
So we